Hello everybody, my name is Cameron FONZ4 and I'll be going over Monday Night Raw May 15, 2023 in about a short period of time. The show starts off with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn doing a fiery ass promo on Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and basically talking about the match they have at Night of Champions. Great promo by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as usual, and then Judgment Day comes out acting like they're going to fight. Kevin Owens is ready to go, and then it leads to a brawl after some misdemeanor words by Dominic and some bait switching, and then it ends in a brawl. Sami Zayn scares him off with a steel chair, and we're off to the races with the main event being Sami Zayn and KO versus Judgment Day. A really good start to the show. So a little weird in the middle between the hesitation, but it was good heel fun overall. The next segment was a match between The Miz and Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura wins with Kinshasa, and I hope after that this is done. This feud is done. I don't want to see Shinsuke Nakamura and the Miz in a tag team. I don't want to see them feuding with each other. I don't want to see anyone in the freaking Miz's mid-card purgatory. All right, God, this is boring. I do not want to see any more matches. Let's move Shinsuke Nakamura on to something better. Good God. No tag teams with The Miz, nothing with The Miz, because he's just boring at this point. OG Miz was cool, but current Miz is just boring as hell. Then next, we have backstage segment where Raquel Gonzalez and Sonya Deville, Hill, and Chelsea Green are bicking back and forth because Liv Morgan is out with injury right now, so they can't defend their titles on Monday Night Raw. For some reason, they're getting a championship opportunity. What they have done to earn them, don't know. Why? Because we don't have enough tag teams on our roster, so pretty much this is all we have. So, of course, in WWE fashion, whenever we need to build up to a pay-per-view match or a tag team championship match and we don't have enough tag teams, what do? Individuals face off against each other in individual singles matches. Tag teams facing against each other in singles matches because we don't have any. So tonight it was set for Raquel Gonzalez and Chelsea Green to face off against each other tonight. Seth Rollins does a promo to build to their match at Night of Champions. Then we have Gunther coming out, do a little promo to prepare for the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal that we have tonight. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of Battle Royals in WWE. Why? Well, because majority of the time it's filled with tag teams and scrubs to fill the whole match out, and usually the match only gets interesting about towards the end. The beginning is pretty boring, and not only that, it's filled with a bunch of wrestlers that you know for without a shadow of a doubt aren't going to win, nor should they win. And so towards the end of the match, we had people like Ricochet and Mustafa Ali and Bronson Reed. Now, by the end of this match, it was pretty much predictable that Mustafa Ali was going to win. Night of Champions is at Saudi Arabia, hometown boy, sort of, but who's counting, right? WWE isn't counting, so why should they care about that? Mustafa Ali wins this battle royale and is going to face Gunther. Will this mean anything? Is this a big push for Mustafa Ali? Is WWE finally acknowledging him and treating him as a major star that could be a contender for the mid-card division? Are WWE finally going to give him the chance he deserves? Most likely not. This will be a one-and-done match, and Mustafa Ali is going to get squashed by Gunther, going to get his ass kicked, but the fans are going to cheer for him because he's native, and they're going to give him the rub because of Nights of Champions. This is basically a one-and-done thing, just like Selena Vega and Puerto Rico had Backlash, and then we'll never see them again. They'll go back to Midgard Purgatory, and we'll never see Mustafa Ali ever again. I'm sorry, WWE, but you've made me not care about Mustafa Ali for months, so why am I going to care about him now? Same thing with Dolph Ziggler. And that leads us to our next segment. The next segment was between Xavier Woods and Dominic Mysterio, where Dominic Mysterio defeats Xavier Woods. Again. Why is this match happening? Didn't we see it last week? And Xavier Woods loses again. How many wrestlers do we have on this roster? You couldn't get anyone else to lose to Dominic Mysterio? Didn't we see this match again last week? So why are we doing it again? Why, WWE? Then again, Who's counting, right? I mean, Xavier Woods already lost twice, so I'm guessing we're gonna get this feud again, over and over, of course, again, because well, WWE doesn't have anything else for Dominic Mysterio. So Xavier Woods apparently now. Now I'm not all for Xavier Woods being in a feud with Judgment Day if they can make it make sense. But however, Xavier Woods has lost twice, so I don't see why they would do this again. And I don't see why they would continue this feud at all at this point if they're going to team with it. But Dominic is getting good to kill heat. But at this point, they're going to need to find some way to continue this on, because if they don't, eventually his steam's going to run out right now. Because right now his heel's based on the fact that he beat the crap out of a Hall of Fame or Rey Mysterio that we all love and cherish right now. So at this point, they need to move on to the next chapter in his life right now and continue adding it up to. Now, don't break him up with Judgment Day, because I don't think he'll be sufficient enough to stand on his own yet. He's got to at least stay a couple of years with at least a year or so, 6 months at least with Judgment Day to really get him more comfortable on the microphone. And I wouldn't move him as a babyface yet until crucially he's need to and it's acceptable yet. But yeah, Judgment Day is a good thing for Dominic. Judgment Day is looking pretty good right now. Just gotta keep it up. Next was a promo package for JD McDonough, where he's gonna start his feud with Dolph Ziggler now. Well, Dolph Ziggler's whole career at this point is bring up NXT wrestlers to come and job to, so that way they can get there and jump into the main roster. And again, that's also the Miz's job too. So, a nice loss for Dolph Ziggler, because at this point he doesn't care. He's getting his money, so why should I care as well? So yeah, JD McDonough can get in this feud with Dolph Ziggler, lose to him, and then move on to Judgment Day when the time's right. And for our next segment, we have the return of Jinder Mahal with Indashare in a debut squash match. Again, why are they on my TV? Send them back down to NXT. Nobody asked for this, nor does anyone want this, and nor does anybody care about Jinder Mahal. He is boring, and still is boring, and nothing has changed since his time in NXT. As usual, boring. Next segment. In our next segment, we have a backstage segment between KO and Sami Zayn and Imperium, which just leads to a match next week between KO and Sami Zayn, a partner of their choosing, versus Imperium. And once again, this is one of the problems with having a brand split, because right now you have two feuds going on with your tag team champions right now. One with the Bloodline and Headline, and another storyline with Gunther happening at the same time. Now the problem with this is a couple things can happen. One, Gunther's team goes in the next release match and they beat the mystery opponent, whoever that is, and they get their shot at the champion, which is lazy booking. Champions should not be losing in order to get championship opportunities. Or worse, Gunther's team can lose again to the champions. Again, why are the champions facing each other every single week? Do you not have a plethora of the tag teams back there that can, compete against each other to vie for tag team gold? Who am I saying? That's stupid. And the next segment we have is Cody Rhodes coming out to a promo where basically he talks about why Brock Lesnar could have attacked him. And it's basically just a segment trying to give you WWE's poor attempts of trying to give you an explanation why Brock attacked him without giving you one at all. And yeah, I don't even think WWE even knows himself why Brock Lesnar's attacking. It's just happening to give him the adversity. He needs to finish the story. At this point, if you wait too long, WWE, no one's going to care at this point if he wins it. Even if he wins the consolation prize, the World Heavyweight Championship, it's still not going to mean anything. At this point, if he wins Money in the Bank, you're basically just taking an opportunity from LA Knight and giving it to Cody in an inorganic way. So at the end of the way, you're pretty much booking yourself into a corner with this one. And overall, I could care less to see Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, especially when there's no purpose behind this match either way. You could have at least built up a reason for me to care, and you didn't. Next segment, we have Zoe Starks doing a backstage promo where she's talking to Nikki Cross, and then Candice LeRae gets in the middle of it. And next week, we have a match between Zoe Starks and Candice LeRae. Jesus Christ. It seems like WWE's only method of building these feuds with backstage segments, which I like. But the thing is, if you're going to build these matches between them, you got to have a much better reason for them. Because these reasonings for these matches are just plain stupid at some point. I mean, really, Candice LeRae getting it between Nikki Cross and protecting and defending Nikki Cross from Zoe Starks. And for some reason, Zoe Starks are apparently buddy with Nikki Cross, even though Zoe Starks beat Nikki Cross. That doesn't make any sense. And apparently, Candice LeRae is defending Nikki Cross for some reason, even though they were in a feud not too long ago. That doesn't make any sense, but nobody just forgot about that for some reason. And now we have a match between Candice LeRae and Zoe Starks next week. WWE needs to do something with Zoe Starks. Otherwise, fans are not going to take to her. She needs something in particular to make her stand out amongst the crowd. Because right now, what they're doing is not working at all. And it can be cringe sometimes. The next segment was Raquel Gonzalez versus Chelsea Green. And Raquel Gonzalez defeats Chelsea Green via pinfall. Well, this match was pretty meh on the mess side, but it did what it needed to do for a TV show, I guess. But the real news of what happened after the match, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler returned. Their new tag team in the division of 4 teams, basically. Less if you count only Monday Night Raw teams on the show. So, yeah. Nice to see Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler back. As a tag team, again, I could care less about them being a tag team. Again, no division. Even if they win those belts, who are they going to face? I mean, the only babyface teams I can think of on this show are Liv Morgan. And that's about it. Yeah. There's only one babyface team, so even if they win the titles, who are they going to face off against? And I mean real legit tag teams, not just throwing together people just for the sake of it. By the way, those NXT girls too, they need wins. But then again, that's what happens when you build it. You just give the women tag team titles just for the sake of doing it, instead of giving them a mid-card title, which would make a lot more sense. But hey, great to see Shayna Baszler back. She's the best bully heel I've ever seen in professional wrestling. Love her. And Ronda Rousey heel could go places. We'll see what they do with it. But I really could care less about the women's tag titles. They haven't meant anything. Even to this day, and WWE has a serious women's problem. Next, we have a promo with Becky Lynch returning, giving a promo to Trish Stratus. Overall, very good intensity from Becky Lynch, but overall, this feud is pretty weak, still pretty weak. The reasoning behind it is still pretty weak. And again, Trish Stratus hasn't really done much on TV. And again, for those of you saying out there you like Trish Stratus, do you like Trish Stratus in ring-wise, or do you like looking at Trish Stratus? There's a difference. Because as far as I'm saying, she hasn't really done anything for the division. And overall, not much, especially for this feud, and hasn't enhanced those tag titles, which are still worthless because, again, there is no division. You can't build a women's tag team division off 4 teams. Just get rid of them and make a mid-card belt for the ladies. That would make a lot more sense. But overall, yeah, Becky brought up family and talked about how she has a fire back in her. And like many people, I enjoyed Becky's gimmick. I enjoyed Becky's gimmick for what it really was, but then the fans turned it into something cringe, and WWE and commentary have turned it into something cringe, just as usual. But I enjoy Becky as long as she doesn't go into the cringe territory with this gimmick of hers. The next segment was Paul Heyman shaking hands with Imperium, basically foreshadowing some future storyline plans between Imperium and Roman Reigns. But depending on how it goes, we'll see what it is. And we had a promo package from Apollo Crews. Again, won't get my hopes up. We'll see how it goes. And then our main event is KO and Sami Zayn versus Judgment Day. The match was good. These teams can always have a really good match. But the key part is at the end of the match, as Gunther and Imperium show up distract Sami Zayn, and get the win for Judgment Day. And at this point, not shocking that our champions are losing again. And WWE passed it off as if, hey, wait, they were distracted. And of course, the refs, well, this is professional wrestling, the refs don't know how to do their job. So, of course, the ref doesn't do anything about outside interference until, well, the story demands it. And that's how the show ended. Overall, not really terrible show. It's just one of those shows that's just there. A lot of inconsistencies. Just depends on what's gonna happen next week. Hopefully, the Shinsuke Nakamura Miz feud is done with. Mustafa Ali is pretty much just there to get squashed. It's gonna be another Selena Vega situation where she's just gotten the opportunity because of his hometown, and WWE won't put any care to it. The KO. We're having SmackDown Live matches feud with Raw matches because of the Tag Team Championships, which WWE still haven't addressed to this day, which is going to make the whole draft seem pointless. I mean, it's already pointless without GMs. I mean, because what's the fight for? What's the point then at that point without him? And Becky Lynch and the Trish Stratus feud doesn't have much weight to it, so it's not. So something needs to happen in order to make you feel for it. And next week there's a contract signing between both women. Why is there a contract signing for a non-title matches? What are they signing it for? Unless it's like a hardcore match or something, which I highly doubt that. But yeah, overall pretty boring show. Usual Monday Night Raw show. Champs looking weak by getting pinned as usual, which means Judgment Day is probably going to get a tag team title match in near future because that's how WWE builds their title match. You beat the champions, you get tag team title opportunities because of that. It's just, yeah, overall, just another forgettable show.